Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with Mixed Media Mayhem and May I Scraplift You. And this was the prompt picture for Mixed Media Mayhem, which made me think quite a bit. And then this is the scrap lift I'm going to do from Scrappy Jenny K or Jennifer. And so Jennifer has 3 tags on hers, some border pieces on the top and bottom, and like some scruffy bits. It's a really cute page. And so I thought I would use hers because the tags reminds me of the slats in that Mixed Media Mayhem prompt. The green was definitely very prominent in that prompt, and so I decided to use this striped piece as part of the upper and bottom, just to give that illusion of those slats that were in that photo. And I didn't know what else to do. Like, I could have done some folding, I guess, because they do look like it's one of those like play on visual illusions kind of thing. Sorry, my words are not coming. And so I was like, and so I really did think about that for a while, and I looked at a whole bunch of different papers and I actually cut about 10 minutes of just looking at papers out, because that would have been really boring to watch me just sit there and this paper, no, this paper, no, yes, no, maybe. So I did cut quite a bit out of the beginning of this. I'm just ripping the top and the bottom of this. I did pick out a whole bunch of green stuff to match with, and there's a stripe of blue on that border piece at the top. It's a chipboard border piece, and then there is blue on these bottom arrows. It's actually the same from the same collection from eons ago. So that's the only blue that gets on my page, but that's okay. It's at the top and the bottom, so it kind of frames it nicely, and it's not in your face. So these chipboard pieces are not backed with sticky stuff, so I was trying, but they're not. So I'm going to put some tape and some glue on it and try and get it on a little bit straighter than I did with the zigzag triangle pieces. It's kind of hard to sneak underneath, so I was trying not to do that, and it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. Sometimes I really struggle with like this part of things, and here's me getting frustrated and going, I'm just gonna put this down. Look, that's good enough, and this will go on, and it is a scrapbook page. It is not going into a museum or a gallery, and I can scoot this way just a bit. A little bit of that letter Studio Calico people will show at the top, but I don't care. It's done. Not a big deal. Like, it didn't need the faffing about. I did lots of fussing on this page though, so I do cut some of the fussing out, because otherwise this video is fairly long already, but it would have been like a whole lot longer. And yeah. I did speed it up to 2.5 times or 250%, just because otherwise it would be very, very long. And yeah. So I'm just looking at how much room I would want between what my tags will be and where my tags are going to be. And so I did think about it for a bit. I did think about some of the other papers. I did crop that out a little bit because it was literally putting this on top and that on top, and nope. It was very indecisive. And then I decided just to go with white cardstock. So this is, I believe I decided on 3.5 by 9 for the tag size, and then, which works. And so that gives them some room in between without being too big, but not having like a whole lot in between, because I didn't want a ton of room, because on Jennifer's page that I'm lifting, there isn't a lot of room between the tags, but there definitely is room. So I wanted to stay true to a lot of what she did. Not everything, but a lot. So, and then I just measured in 1 inch, and that's how I'm going to do these really large tags, because I do not have a die that does these. I do have my Cricut, but that would require me pulling my Cricut out and doing all of that, and this was easier. So I do have that white go piece that I picked out for the title. These are the pictures I'm scrapbooking. I don't actually do a close-up of them today, which is bizarre for me, but that's okay. And so I'm cutting this one down to a 3x4, and then I cut this one down and it stays 3x6 for a minute, and I went, oh, I would have liked that more. So I think about it. I actually go and take a look to see if I have another one of the ones that I cut off printed, because I swore I printed these twice. Totally did not. So yeah, it gets cut and done and not a big deal. It did have a lot of open space there, so it wouldn't have mattered too much. So, and then that go is getting lost on these tags, and I decide that I want to actually play with the slat idea a little bit more. So on the slats, it goes from a greeny color to a yellow color and like different colors of green. So I'm just looking for a couple of my greens. So I'm literally pulling out what I can find. Those are all my color theory inks. I have lots of them. And I pulled out this Hero Arts one, but I don't use it. And I pulled out this other dollar store one, but I don't use that one either. And so the mojito is going to go away because that's too blue already. And so I'm going to pull out a whole bunch of my Ali Edwards stamps, because I do know I have the one that's the Go one, and so, or the Move. I think the Go came in the Move one. So I pull out Move, I pull out Learn, I pull out, she had some monthly ones too, so I pull out the July one, and on the back side I think there's, I use the July one, I use Fun Looks Like, and then I'm looking at just a couple ones, so Let's Go, I think that one's a Studio Calico one. And then I am just going to make my own background in green, and it's going to go from like a lighter olive green and to that more, I don't know what they're called. I can look if you want me to look, but the olive kind of color to that limey apple color, bright apple color, I don't know. And so I'm just pulling out ones that I think I'd like. They are going to change spots in a second, so I will let you know what they all say. But I'm just pulling off ones that I think will work. These pictures are when we were homeschooling, and we were in a building unit for science, and I let her go and do whatever she wanted for building. So she assigned herself different challenges and then needed to problem solve to do the challenges. So Evie told me just recently that part of her inspiration for this challenge was a TV show that she was watching that had like a train that went around the world, and so she wanted to like build this ramp for her cars from the dining room table to the coffee table. And so her challenge was to build a ramp so that she could get her car across. So it was, she spent quite a bit of time, and there's quite a bit of construction paper there, but then she recycled stuff, and it was pretty fun. So I'm looking through my other stamps to see if there's something else I might use, and I decided no, it's okay. I'll use the ones that I've got and I'll just rearrange them, making sure they're upright. And then I do pull out a piece of scrap so that I can make sure that they all stamp, because some of them have never been stamped before. And so that works. And I'm like, okay. I'm going to try it one more time. I think I do a little bit of rearranging, just a touch. And so the stamps say, fun looks like, playing equals learning, right where I belong, let's go. And then just a bunch of arrows, so which all work for this one, and then that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to do kind of that ombre effect to mimic the slats in the Mixed Media Mayhem prompt, and so I like that. So I'll show you one of the tags that I do. So straight on, and then I'm going to offset them as I go. So here, and then second generation stamp over here, and that's fine. And literally doing the same thing. And more center, because why not? A lot of that you won't see because of the picture, and it's not a big deal. So I just wanted to not have this so stark white, and that Go acetate piece I was losing, and I still want to use that. So, and then I'm just going to come in with the chevron piece and kind of fill in some of the little white spaces, and the tag is done. And I'm going to put this one back on the main block and move on to the next tag, and not a big deal. And that's the last one of the three. One of them I didn't do as nice. I dropped the pad on it, and like the ink pad. You can see it in the third one there. There's a couple of errant lines, but I'm going to move that to the center, and then the picture's going to go right over top of it, and you would never have known that I made a mistake, so it works out okay. And I am not going to put those all away right to start with. They're just going to sit on my desk while I finish this up. So the Go is still getting lost, so I thought I'd try inking the edges. I'm using my archival ink. My StazOn would probably have worked a little better for this kind of thing, but it is what it is. I don't want to look for it. And using the wet wipe to get rid of some of the extra bits that I have, and my fingers are dirty, so, and then it's not working, so I'm going to use my brush and kind of try and give it a little bit of a ghost effect. And it is doing a little bit more than what it was before, but not enough. So I'm going to use the lighter green, and I'm going to put some green on the background and see how that works. And that's a little better, but it's still not popping like I want it to. So I'm going to try a little bit more green, make it a little bit darker. I could have used that really bright one, but I didn't want to overpower it either. So I was like, well, we'll see. So I'm wiping off the black because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do anyway. So it's not a big deal. And it was smudging, and I didn't want black smudges everywhere, so it's one of those fussy things. And I decided to put the tags down, and then I'm going to go back and try and deal with that Go here in a minute, because I'm still not quite happy with it, but I do need it to be in its spot to do much else with that ghosting shadow effect. So trying to get it straight, because these long tags would definitely, if they were really not straight, you would really see it. So I want to make sure that they are straight. And the way my papers are makes it a little harder, because I have to like sneak it under my T-square, just because of the chipboard that's on there. So, oh well. And then I decided to back my pictures in black. My apologies, that was really hard to say for a second there. And so I'm just going to do, it'll be about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So just 2 photo mats. This was just a scrap piece of black, so yay me, get more scraps done. And so I do like the pictures better like that. It makes them pop a little bit more. I don't want what I put on here to get lost. It is already a pretty busy layout, so. And then these I do want to be straight and lined up, because if they're not, you're really definitely going to see. And it kind of bothers me when things are supposed to be really straight and they're not. So I just make sure that goes on nice. And then now I'm still thinking about that Go. Did think about backing it in black. I don't know why those 2 words are hard today. My apologies. But I don't want to spend the time doing that, and it would have taken some time. So I'm going to trace this out, and I'm going to use the same kind of idea, but I'm going to use black ink instead. So, do I love this? No. Does it do what I want it to do? It definitely does. So I pull out this tiny little, it's actually a makeup brush from the dollar store, and it's itty bitty, and it works just fine. And I'm just going to go and fill in where I traced those circle bits for the go. And now you can see it. So, which was what I wanted. I wanted to be able to see it, because, yeah, why put an acetate on that you can't see? So I'm just adding a little bit more. I wanted it a little bit darker. Look at how that pops now. You can see it. Even on the camera, you can see it. It looks actually quite a bit better in real life. It looks more like a shadow, not so much like a splotch on the page, but it is what it is on a camera. So I'm going to attach it for the tiny attacher, because the other problem with backing it in black is I probably would have had to attach it with the tiny attacher anyway, because the glue would show and I didn't want to see the glue. And then I pulled out these pink fresh letters that I most likely got in a hip kit, and my title is going to be Ready, Set, Go. And so I thought the ready set might go right across the go. I decide really quickly that that's not what I want to happen. Nope. And then I thought maybe I would stagger them. So the set here, my title is going to change a few times. So I don't make you watch all of the bits of that, because it does change a few times. I think I make you watch it the first time though. So that would have been okay, but eh. And then I pull out these stickers that I've been trying to use up for the arrows, and this green one I'm going to put in this go. It's going to change in a second, but I actually might change it back. I do actually like how that looks now. And then I put this green sticker on, and it says, the one on the top says one more time, and then I have a try and a watch in my hand. And they're going to go back on here for a second, and I'm going to go get a QR code, because I do have a video of my kiddo doing this, and I did want it to go on the page, and I was like, oh, I better go get that before I forget to even put it on here. So I'm going to back it in black, because why not? The little panda's on there just because she doesn't want to share. She doesn't mind sharing photos, but she didn't want to share her video about her doing this part of things. So gotta respect that with my 14-year-old. She's almost 14. I think she's about 8 in these pictures looking at her. And the funny thing is I did that gymnastics page a couple days ago, and she was wearing a purple top and peach bottoms, and in this one she's wearing the peach top and the purple bottoms to the same jammies. So it was about the same time as I did that gymnastics page, but I think it's pretty funny. It could have been even the same week, but she liked to mix and match her jammy sets that way. So there's lots of times she's wearing the peach top and the purple pants, or vice versa. She was a funny kid that way. And who cares? Honestly, who cares? I didn't really. I just thought I just noticed it when I was scrapbooking these things, because that was something that happened. So I do decide that the arrow is going to face the go, and then I'm going to put this arrow up by this ready, and I am going to move the ready over. And maybe I left that in. I guess you get to see quite a bit of the fussing with the title. And it's going to go here. And that I like more. And then it just kind of frames the title, because the title is Ready, Set, Go. But it goes quite a bit of the page. So I thought about using that little strip, but it doesn't need it. And then I'm going to add this one that says watch beside the QR code, because why not? And then this one says try, and then the top one says try again. So, and then I need to put some stuff in the tag holes. I did pull out a bunch of other stuff to like see, because I wasn't quite sure I was done. There's nothing else I really wanted to put on this, so I was like, no, no, no. So I took that fussing out, which was probably a good 10 minutes of me like, how about this word sticker? How about nothing changed? So I took that out for you guys. But just for transparency, there was a lot of faffing about in between the ribbon, so it happened. But I chose this ribbon because it goes with the brightness on the tags. It's still green. And then I thought about trying to do a bow. And so with the ribbon, I didn't like it. I was like, no. And then what do I do with the tag hole? Because so that would have been okay. And I guess it covers the tag hole a little bit, but I didn't like it. So I'm just going to do it the same way as I did those other two. And when I put the staple in this one, I put it through the tag too, which I didn't actually do as much on the other ones. The other ones I can sneak. Sorry, I put it through the tag, but not through the back piece of paper. Whereas that third one, I put it through the back piece of paper. So these the first and third tag, I can actually get these brads through the hole really easy, because look at me lift and go. And the third one, I actually just have to poke it right on through because I attached the tag to the paper. So it is what it is. I wasn't sure I was going to do this anyway, so it's not like it was a huge big deal. But and then I'm going to do some sparkly Nouveau drops. So there's going to be 3 on top of this. I'm just tapping so that they even out. And then there's going to be a few up on this sticker. There's going to be 3 on this sticker, and then 3 on this sticker. Go back and do the thirds, maybe 2 on the try. And then here we go for some close-ups. Thank you so much for Jennifer for allowing us to scrap lift her today. If you want to see her stuff, there'll be links below. There's also a playlist for May I Scraplift You and for Mixed Media Mayhem. Make sure you go check some of those other ladies out. That would be awesome. And then obviously those are my photos. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked yet, I would appreciate it. Have a great day.